Ananias and Sapphira were a married couple in Jerusalem and some of the first members of the early church. Called the Way, the church was a generous, living body of believers who shared everything with one another. After Jesus' crucifixion and resurrection, the city became overrun with religious pilgrims. Many Passover visitors who had received the gospel decided to stay in Jerusalem and join the Way, so they needed food and shelter. The church invited them into their homes and began sharing with them. Jesus' followers had grown from 120 at his resurrection to likely over 10,000 in just a short time. Peter and the other elders of the church began collecting money and belongings and redistributing to the people who needed the church's assistance. One of the leaders in the new church was a man named Barnabas. His character matched his name, which meant encourager. Barnabas took the lead in demonstrating faith and generosity. He sold a piece of property and gave all the proceeds to Peter to use for the church. Ananias and Sapphira noticed the respect that Barnabas received for his contribution. They decided to follow his example, except that they didn't want to give away all the money from the sale. So they came up with a plan to win both the respect of their peers and to grow a little richer. Ananias sold some land and donated part of the profit. But when he brought the money to Peter, he gave Peter the impression that he was donating the entire price of the land. Peter confronted him and reminded him that the land was his to sell and keep all the money if he wanted to. So why would he try to deceive God? Ananias dropped dead on the spot. Some men came forward, wrapped him up, and buried him immediately. 3 hours later, Ananias' wife Sapphira came to see Peter. She had not heard about her husband's demise. Peter questioned her about the price of the land, and she also lied. "Why have you agreed with your husband to test the Holy Spirit with your deceit?" he asked her. "The men who buried your husband are waiting to bury you." Sapphira dropped dead, and the men carried her out and buried her next to her husband. The story of Ananias and Sapphira's fate spread throughout the church and Jerusalem, creating fear and respect for the power of God.